Hello, and welcome to starting a new job or internship on the right foot. My name is Rachel Bernard, and I'm the Director of Graduate Career Development with GSAS Compass, the Career Center for all master's and doctoral students in the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences at Columbia. In our session today, we're going to talk about how you can get off to a good start in your new job or internship. So first, congratulations on finding employment. And I imagine you might be feeling a little bit nervous in addition to being very excited about your new position. So hopefully this workshop helps you to feel more relaxed and prepared. There are a few things you can do before you even start. First, you want to research the company, the CEO, look at recent news, practice how you're going to introduce yourself to your new colleagues, and of course, try to get a good night's sleep in the days leading up to your first day. You might feel like you've already done a lot of this research during the interview process, but there's even more you can do between the time when you get the offer and accept the offer and your start date. So you want to make sure that you're showing you know a lot about the place that you're going to start working. Next, there are things you can do to communicate in advance. Email with your manager to be sure you know about expectations and also just to let them know that you're excited to work with them. And then also before you start, you can start connecting with your new colleagues on LinkedIn. Finally, day one. Of course, you want to arrive on time. Make sure you know what the norms are and what your expected start time is and arrive a few minutes early. Keep your phone silenced throughout the day, unless you need to be available for emergencies, but really make sure you're showing your full attention to all of your new colleagues and your work. So try to keep your phone away. Make sure you're dressed appropriately. Now, each workplace has really different norms around what people wear, but on your first day, it's a good idea to dress in maybe a little bit more formal, and then you can see how other people are dressed and adjust accordingly. But on the first day, you want to make sure that you're wearing clean, professional attire. And finally, make sure that you have a positive attitude on your first day. So you're going to be meeting a lot of new people. Make sure you're smiling, shake hands, show interest in everyone you meet. Make eye contact and really show that you're interested in getting to know them. It's also important to be yourself. So don't feel, that you need to act very differently from usual, but kind of be your most positive and most energetic self on your first day at work. Okay, so that's kind of the first day. And now what are things you want to do in the workplace during your first few months? And this is really the most important part of the presentation. So your primary goal, your first few months in a new job, is to show that you are a good fit. Obviously, they thought you were a good enough fit to hire you during the interview process, but it's important to really demonstrate this, that they made the right choice during your first few months. So what you do is incredibly important. So first, accept all assignments. As a new member of an organization, you might be given some more menial tasks, maybe things that you would hope to be doing work above that. But it's important that you accept every assignment that you're given, especially at the beginning. It's obviously important to meet all of your deadlines that you're given as well. Take initiative to answer questions on your own. So as a new employee, you might have a lot of questions about how things are done, just the background information about different things. And of course, you can ask your manager and you can ask your peers for help, but make sure to take initiative to try to find answers to your questions on your own before you ask for help. So your initial thing shouldn't be your initial impulse shouldn't be to email your questions, ask your questions right away, but see if you can find answers to them before asking. Also incredibly important to adhere to your manager's communication style. So every manager has a different style of communication, and this is both, what they prefer over email or chat or Slack. And then also verbal communication. And this is something you're going to want to observe to figure out, observe how other people interact with your manager, and also ask them directly, ask them what they prefer. Do you prefer that I stop in your office? Is their door always open? Or are they more kind of, they prefer email communication or chat? Just really ask them what their style is. And this is something that you'll have to iterate on as you get to know them better. Ask for feedback. Now, this bullet is very important, that you need to match the culture of the organization. So what do I mean by that? So every organization has a different culture, and culture really is just kind of the way things are done at the organization. And this is something that it takes a long time to figure out what the culture is. But here you really need to be a keen observer of how people act and behave and communicate with one another and get things done. And you are trying to fit in and match that culture. And this is something different from maybe the rest of your life or being in school, where you're kind of defining your own identity, maybe asking a lot of questions and questioning the way things are done. But when you have a job and you work for an organization, you need to do what they have hired you to do, and to act in a way that meshes with the organizational culture. And so this is just, it's very important, and it's an important part of being successful in a new role. So these are all the things you should do, and then how you should do it. And there's really one key, and it's just to maintain a positive attitude always. So again, if you're given an assignment you're not thrilled about, you're not going to kind of roll your eyes or accept it grudgingly. Instead, during your first couple months in a new job, especially, you want to maintain that positive attitude. Say yes, everything, be proactive. You want to do everything in a positive way. So then the next few slides are going to talk about meetings and communication. So every work environment has meetings, and those look really different depending on the office. And so first, some of your most important meetings are the meetings that are with your manager or with your team. So you want to ask your manager in the first week, how often will we meet? Will you have weekly one-on-one meetings with your manager, which, if they are willing, is a great idea, at least at the beginning, to have weekly 30-minute check-ins with your manager. Next, are there standing meetings that you should attend? And so standing meetings are meetings that happen regularly, could be every day, every week, every month, and that you should be included in. So these might be team meetings or organization-wide meetings if it's a smaller organization. So you want to make sure that you get these on your calendar and you understand what the meeting is about. And then ask your manager who sets the meeting agendas and how you should communicate agenda items. So this is especially important if you're doing one-on-one meetings with your manager. Understand kind of who's leading the meeting. Does the manager want agenda items from you, or are they setting the agenda? And if you do have something that you'd like to discuss, do they prefer that you send that to them in advance, or just bring it up as part of the meeting? So chances are your job might be hybrid or virtual. So there's some etiquette for virtual meetings. First, keep your camera on. So in a school environment, that may have been optional. In a work environment, you should really make every effort to have your camera on during every meeting, especially at the beginning of a new job. You've probably gotten used to this, but you want to be clear, you want to make sure that what you have in the background is professional. So you might want a virtual background or to blur your background. And now this is something, your very first meeting, you can kind of see what other people at the company do, and you want to follow norms here about your background. You want to make sure that you're dressed appropriately. So again, you may be working from home, but if you're having a meeting, you want to have professional attire. And of course, you want to have good lighting. So try to avoid lights behind you and instead have lights in front of you. For all meetings, whether they're virtual or in person, you want to arrive on time, take notes, prepare for the meeting in advance, and then adhere to the organizational culture around meetings. And by this, I mean, it'll be clear from, pretty quickly what the order, who talks, how much time they take, whether people are called on, how people participate. And so it might be good during your first couple of meetings to be, to really observe these things before you jump in and participate, to make sure, again, that you're fitting in with that organizational culture, especially as a new employee. Okay, email communication is incredibly important. There are a lot of things that you want to pay attention to. So you want to pay attention to the tone of your email. You don't want to come across as too brusque or curt. You want to appear friendly and professional in your emails. Pay attention to the timing of your emails. And so this is, you don't want to send a barrage of 10 emails to your manager all at once. You want to make sure that they're staggered. Also pay attention within the organization. Are people sending emails mostly just during business hours, or are some people sending emails, at any time of day? And if it's during business hours, then even if you are working late, you want to schedule send so that your email is coming during business hours. Make sure that you have a professional salutation. So this could be dear so-and-so or hello so-and-so. Follow organizational norms about your email signature and set that up on your first day. Use clear subject lines for your emails. Pay attention to who you are CCing and BCCing and know the difference between the two. Again, this is something that different organizations have different norms around this. And I always say, when in doubt, ask. If you're sending an important email, ask your manager, do you want to be CC'd on this? Do you want to be copied on this? If it's a BCC, then that's a blind carbon copy, and no one else will see that that person is copied, and they also will not receive reply all responses. Speaking of reply all, this is another issue that comes up in workplace communication. If there's an email sent to a large group of people and you're replying, usually you would reply all unless the person, unless it's a scheduling email, they ask, please just reply to me in your response, because typically people have included other people on the email so that they can be looped into the communication and then want that group to stay connected about whatever the subject of the email is. Attachments, don't forget to send attachments if you are supposed to be attaching something to an email. So here's an example of two different email tones. So number one, done with project, LOL. This is not a professional email, and it is not the kind of communication that you should be sending unless you're a couple months into a job and this is how people actually communicate in your organization. Example number two is much more professional. Dear Louisa, so it has an appropriate salutation. Please find my completed project attached. Don't forget to send the attachment. I look forward to your feedback. And then sincerely, Rachel has an appropriate sign off as well. So here we're going to look at a little more closely at a good example of a professional email. So one part at a time. So first, clear subject line. Thursday project meeting canceled. Just from seeing the subject of that email, the recipient has an idea of what the content will be. Next, there's an appropriate salutation. So in this case, the salutation is hello, which is perfectly appropriate. Now the body of the email, so it starts off very, on a friendly note. I hope your week is getting off to a good start. Always nice to start that way. And then the rest of the email is concise, communicates the message clearly and concisely. And then at the bottom suggests a solution or next step. So trying to reschedule the meeting. So that's very efficient communication. Has an appropriate sign off. In this case, the sign off is best regards. And then also includes an email signature at the bottom. So this is an example of an excellent professional email. It's clear, concise, friendly, and uses all appropriate conventions for salutations, sign-offs, and signatures. We're going to end here by talking about networking. So you might be thinking, networking, I just did a lot of networking to get my job. I thought I was done. You are never done networking. And networking is a really important part of fitting into a company and being successful and starting off on the right foot. So introduce yourself as much as possible, meet colleagues on different teams. If you are in, a shared space within the office, maybe a kitchen or a bathroom or a hallway, and you see someone who you don't know, introduce yourself and say, I'm new here. This is, introduce yourself, ask what team they're on and what they do. Seek out community building activities. So if you're at a larger organization that has, happy hours or other ways to connect with colleagues, maybe lunches, participate in those in your first few months. Also, you'll have a little bit more time probably during your first month of a new job before you get really busy. So take advantage of those opportunities right from the start. Next, add your new colleagues on LinkedIn. So I said that that's something you can start even before you start working. So every time you meet a new colleague at your organization, don't forget, connect with them on LinkedIn. Network laterally. So this means network, it doesn't always have to be with people who are managers or directors, network with other peers, other people, maybe they're on different teams, but just, meet really as many people as you can within the organization. And then make sure to stay in touch with people when they leave. And so this is sort of thinking ahead that when you have really good connections within your organization, it can both help you advance within that organization, but then also if in a few years you are ready to move on, other people will have moved on as well. And if you've gotten to know them, then you already have a network of people who work at other companies. So the one thing to make sure is to keep all of your relationships professional. Obviously you want to adhere to all of the laws and policies around, interacting with colleagues at your organization, and just be really careful about, maintaining professional boundaries. So maybe you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, but not personal social media. If you're socializing them outside of the office, just remember they are colleagues and you'll have to see them at work the next day. Last note here, if you're starting a new internship, you might already be thinking about getting a return offer. So follow all the advice that was in this presentation. Here are a few extra notes for you, because you really have a short period of time to demonstrate that you're a good fit and a good worker and someone who they would want to hire full-time. So of course, work hard and keep busy throughout your internship. Set goals with your manager and check in regularly about meeting those goals. Document your projects and your progress so that, when asked or when you're, if you're asking for a return offer, you can show them what you've done, how you've contributed. Make sure to demonstrate alignment with company culture. This is what we've been talking about throughout the session. Be a good communicator and ask questions. So if there are colleagues who maybe themselves started out as interns, got a return offer and stayed, check with them, have lunch with them, ask them for tips. And also just make sure that you have really good communication with your manager, and that you know what the process and timeline is for getting a return offer. Last piece of advice, networking. Again, just having good networks within the organization. It shows, that you really want to be a part of that company culture, that you're already a part of the organization. They're likelier to want to hire you back. And that's it for today. So congratulations again on getting your new job or internship. We hope that you have a fantastic experience and a successful start. Thanks again.